Welcome to another episode of Raw Radiant Health. I'm Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me. So I got a lot of comments and questions about yesterday's episode on the coconut water kefir and the coconut yogurt and probiotics, and I love questions, and I think it's great that people want to know more because there's only so much I could put into like a 10-minute video yesterday, and there's a lot I wanted to talk about, but I just wanted to sort of give you guys the basics. So today I decided to use this as an opportunity just to answer all the questions that I was asked. I'm going to start by just talking a little bit about the probiotic supplements, because I think it kind of freaks some people out that, like, you know, what do you mean my probiotics don't work? They might not work. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you know, there's no way of testing it either. It's the only thing I can really suggest is calling up the probiotic company and asking them, saying like, are these active probiotics? Are they viable? Are they stable? How are they being transported from your factory to, my local health food store? All these things, because there are people that are hired to answer these questions. And these questions are not new questions. These things come up. So it's important to communicate with these companies if you're buying their product, so that you know for sure that you're getting what you're putting your money out for. And I'm sure too that a lot of the health food stores, they might be able to answer these questions as well, especially transportation, from if it's being produced locally. If it's being produced like in another country, then I'd say I wish you luck, because I mean it's going on airplanes, or it's being transported by ground, and you just don't know. There's no quality control there. So I'm sorry. So that's my little shtick on probiotics. Do I take probiotics? No, because I take my coconut water kefir almost every day. So I just want to explain now a little bit about the kefir grains, because there's a little bit of confusion about it. Most people associate kefir with dairy products, with either cow's milk or goat's milk that's been fermented. And I just want to explain that these kefir grains that are used to ferment any kind of liquid like cow's milk or coconut water or anything, these grains are not a dairy product. They're actually living enzymes and bacteria and yeast and polysaccharides that are sort of like, I don't know, it's like it's sort of gelatinous almost, these things, and they grow. And so pretty much they're put into any kind of liquid that contains a sugar. So if it's in a dairy product, these kefir grains are living and feeding off of the lactose. And the lactose is what helps it grow and to multiply. So you can put these kefir grains in a non-dairy solution as long as it's got some sort of sugar. And what it'll do is it'll eat away at the sugar and ferment the solution. So, as I was doing yesterday with the coconut water. I was also asked about how long the kefir grains last. Do they die after a while? Like, how does it work? And pretty much, I did a little research, because my kefir grains, I've had them for over 2 years now, and I'm constantly fermenting things. And I've had no problems whatsoever. But I've heard of other people like selling kefir grains and saying like, yeah, they last a few weeks and then you have to buy a new batch. So I did do a little research this morning, and there are different strains. So you do want to look into that. Like if you're going to buy it from somewhere, ask them like, how long do they last? I did find a good source though for ones that last forever, and I'll post that on today's blog post. The link will be there. And also, I've been asked about storing them. Like, what happens when you go away, or if you want to like take a break off like fermenting things? Like, what do you do? There's a few ways of dealing with this. What I've done in the past is just put them in the refrigerator. I put them in coconut water and I've left them in the refrigerator and I've had no problem. I've left them for weeks. I even, over the winter, I went away to Hawaii for 2 months and I forgot about them. And I forgot to put them in the refrigerator before I left. And in fact, I had left them like on the kitchen counter, like, you know, in the warm apartment, fermenting for 2 months. And I came back and they were fine. So, and they work. So they're not, you don't have to worry so much. But if you are going away for like an extended amount of time, like I'd say if you're not going to be using them for a few months, the best thing would be to do is to dehydrate them. You can look online for instructions for that. That, or you can even, you know, ask your neighbor to take care of it. There's many options. Or you can just do what I do, and I just leave it in coconut water and just let it just live in there. So not to worry, they're pretty strong. But I do want to stress one important thing, and I've been told this over and over again, is do not let any metal touch the kefir grains, because the metal, for some reason, can kill them. So don't use a metal spoon or a metal colander if you're draining it, nothing. I just want to answer a few questions from Rob Butterfly regarding the coconut yogurt. So she was asking me, because yesterday when I did my little demo, I made the coconut yogurt out of the coconut meat with water blended. And she's just asking if she can use the coconut water instead of just regular spring water. And yes, by all means, do use the coconut water, or you can even use juice. The reason why I just used regular spring water was because I was using the coconut water to show you how to make the coconut water kefir. So yes, by all means, use coconut water to make the coconut yogurt. And her other question was regarding when you're fermenting either the coconut water kefir or the coconut yogurt. She was asking, like, because when you leave it out to ferment, you leave it in a warm place. And she just wanted to know if maybe she can just put in the dehydrator at a low temperature, and would that be alright? And that's fine, but really you don't even need that. As long as these things are stored to ferment at room temperature or warmer. You just don't want them in the refrigerator or in like a cold area of your apartment or your home, because the coldness is what's going to sort of stop the fermentation. It'll like freeze it. It'll make it hibernate almost. So you need like warm air and warm climate to make these things grow and multiply. So I'd say room temperature is fine. If you want to put in the dehydrator at a super low temperature, that's alright, but room temperature is perfectly alright. So that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, and I really appreciate the comments. I think it's great, and I'd like to hear some feedback if anyone actually attempts to do this. I'd like to know like how it goes. And I just really want to stress like really the importance of getting cultured food and fermented food into your diet, because it's so important. It's so good on your intestines. It's good for even for sugar cravings, because it levels it off, especially because we don't get so much sour things into our diet. You know, we're always like sort of reaching for the sweet or the salty, you know, but when it comes to sour stuff, it's, you know, it's a limited amount of stuff we eat that's sour tasting. And I've noticed that when I consistently drink coconut water kefir, it takes away my sugar cravings. So I really suggest that as a great way to help rebalance your system. So I'm wishing you guys a fabulous day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!